Hi, I'm Carol Andrews for another episode of Southwest TV News. Here are some of the stories coming up on today's show. Despite recent rainfall and the odd snow flurry, the ground around Swift Current is dry. Whether it's your phone, computer, or television, we're all hooked in some aspect and spending a significant amount of time doing so. This is a year of celebration for the city of Swift Current, and you're invited to stop by the Swift Current Museum Satellite Gallery at the Swift Current Mall. Thanks for joining us here today. Fire officials are warning you of tinder dry conditions following a series of fires in and around Swift Current. Despite recent rainfall and the odd snow flurry, the ground around Swift Current is dry. These conditions were brought to light during a series of fires around the city late last week, including this blaze north of the hospital and another incident west of the city along the number 1 highway. The North End fire remains under investigation, while the evening blaze has been attributed to sparks from a passing train combined with strong winds. Overall occurrences which can be common this time of the year.
The ground is wet and there's some fresh growth underneath all that stubble and grass and that, but there is a lot of dead grass that's piled up on top of it, and it is dry. When you get a bit of a wind and the sun, it dries right out instantly. Just be careful, farmers, if you're out in the field, make sure you've got some water available and be aware that it is extremely hot. Check your vehicles and equipment that you don't have sparks flying off, because it is dry and it will take off.
Elon adds that with any emergency situation, the general public is always asked to stay away from the scene for everyone's safety.
Please stay away and let us do our job. It gets very frustrating when you can't get a fire truck to where you need to go, or you're trying to turn a vehicle around and somebody's trying to drive around behind you as you're backing it up to turn around, stuff like that. And, stay away. You look at it from a distance.
You're further reminded to always check the weather forecast before attempting any type of controlled burn on the farm, and that open fires are not allowed in the city, with backyard fire pits requiring a permit from the fire department. Well, could you turn off your computer or television for an entire week? This is Screen-Free Week, and you're encouraged to do so for the betterment of your health. No matter how old you are, we are living in a digital age, and we're all affected by it. Whether it's your phone, computer, or television, we're all hooked in some aspect and spending a significant amount of time doing so. Val Chufu is the InMotion Community Facilitator for the City of Swift Current, and issues a challenge to change your habits during National Screen-Free Week.
And encouraging people to get off the screens, the video games, television, computers. We spend a lot of time in front of them, and get outdoors and enjoy the world around us. Right now, statistics are saying that for preschoolers, on average, they're spending up to 4 hours a day on screens, and older children obviously more, up to 7 to 8 hours per day that children are on screen.
Along with becoming physically inactive, too much screen time can also lead to a range of health issues, including childhood obesity, poor school performance, and problems with attention span. And now that the temperatures are heating up, there's no excuse for not heading outdoors.
Whether it's a structured activity, and there's many structured activities like you mentioned, ball or soccer, but at the same time, there's lots of unstructured. Whether it's going for a walk, we have many playgrounds and parks that you can head down to, get the skateboard out, go to the skateboard park. There's basketball courts, tennis courts, it's endless.
Adults are also recommended to be good role models and make a point of turning off your screens for a period of time and getting the entire family outdoors for a brisk walk or a bike ride. Simple choices which will benefit everyone's well-being in the long run. If you're looking for a unique souvenir to mark Swift Current Centennial celebration, you can find this and more at a special display at the Swift Current Mall. This is a year of celebration for the city of Swift Current, and you're invited to stop by the Swift Current Museum Satellite Gallery at the Swift Current Mall. An array of photos highlighting Swift Current's history adorn the walls, along with a special area dedicated to notable residents.
And we have selected some of the movers and shakers from Swift Current's last 100 years who did something to contribute to the community. And what we're hoping is that people in the community will participate, that if they have somebody that they consider important in the development of the city's history, that they provide us with a photograph and a short paragraph, and we will add their person to the Wall of Fame. So it will ultimately be a community's creation.
Canuck says the display is also a great conversation piece for many who pass through the exhibit, while learning a piece of Swift Current's history.
I think that it's a really good visual survey. People say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and if you look at some of these pictures, you get an idea of things that were going on and people that were active in a way that a big, long written panel wouldn't show you.
The Satellite Gallery also includes a variety of Centennial souvenirs, from T-shirts to sweaters. The Centennial display at the Swift Current Mall will be open to the public daily through the end of May, before being transferred over to Kinetic Park for the June Centennial Homecoming weekend. Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at mylocaltv.ca. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.